Are we in an AI bubble? Hell yeah. And if you can't tell, you probably own shares in the wrong company. Look around. The discussion of an AI bubble has taken the world by storm. Everywhere you look, on Wall Street, in the tech press, even in government, it's the only thing people are talking about. The anxiety is real, and the stakes are massive. We're not talking about market noise. We're talking about the financial shockwaves the market anticipates if this imaginary bubble was to burst. But before we get into the fun part, the crash, we have to prove the claim. Is this just hype, or is the financial foundation truly rotten? To answer that, we must talk about the infinite money glitch in the AI industry, a system clearly designed by a financial AI that only knows the number billion. Big tech calls it innovation. The rest of us call it illegal in at least 42 countries. This process is called circular financing. Here's how you generate revenue without actually generating revenue. A major tech giant gives a promising AI lab billions. The lab smiles, shakes hands, and immediately commits to spending that exact money right back on the giant's cloud services and chips. It's not a business model. It's a self-licking ice cream cone designed to make quarterly reports look fantastic. On paper, these companies are generating huge sums of revenue. But the issue is that this cash is essentially being recycled inside a closed loop. They are also required to burn money for massive capital expenditure, CapEx. They're not just burning cash. They're actively setting fire to mountains of it, to build server farms that might one day, maybe, pay for themselves. The brutal reality is that most downstream AI models haven't reached profitability yet. So, you have high prices, massive investment, and demand that is artificially created by the very vendors who benefit from it. But okay, these companies have financial issues, but do they actually meet the criteria for being in a bubble? To answer that, we need to go back to a more fundamental question. What is a bubble exactly? You know, the kind of thing that makes economics textbooks fun, in the same way plane crash documentaries are fun. An economic bubble is a period when current asset prices greatly exceed their intrinsic valuation, being the valuation that the underlying long-term fundamentals justify. Bubbles can be caused by overly optimistic projections or by the belief that intrinsic valuation is simply no longer relevant. Basically, the moment when your neighbor who reads stock tips on Reddit is richer than you are. But is there evidence of tech companies meeting the criteria? The short answer is yes. It checks every box. We didn't just meet the criteria. We ordered 5 of them, personalized, and put a deposit down. First, divergence from intrinsic value. We are paying for the AGI that will solve cancer and cure inflation, not the software that currently struggles to draw a human hand. Valuations are based on massive future growth and transformational goals, not current profitability. The assessment? Strong fit. Prices are driven by potential rather than performance. That's a strong fit for complete and total nonsense. The second one is displacement. Displacement is the first stage of a financial bubble where the introduction of a groundbreaking innovation like generative AI convinces investors that the potential for a new economic era means the old rules of fundamental valuation no longer applies. The "this time it's different" narrative is central to the AI thesis. It's the rallying cry of every person about to lose everything. Another strong fit. Third, high media and public hype. AI dominates news cycles with hyperbolic language. This creates widespread speculation and the most powerful force in the market: FOMO. The fear of missing out is so intense you worry that if you don't buy an AI stock, the next generation of LLMs will use your name as a synonym for loser. Strong fit. Fourth, the issue we exposed earlier, circular financing. It's the financial equivalent of a dog chasing its own tail, but that dog is wearing a suit and being called a disruptor. It's a form of artificial demand creation. This is an indirect fit, but a major risk. And finally, fifth, market concentration. Much of the market's recent gains are concentrated in a small group of stocks tied to the AI infrastructure theme, the so-called Magnificent Seven. This means if one of the Magnificent Seven sneezes, your portfolio catches the plague. Strong fit. 5 out of 5. The evidence is overwhelming. We are in a bubble. But here is the most critical conclusion, and what separates the winners from the losers. The most important takeaway is this. We are in a bubble, but not every company is Pets.com. Some of these companies will eventually stand the test of time. The key is identifying the next big winner of this era. The companies building sustainable, indispensable utility that will dominate the next 2 decades. You have to find the infrastructure that is absolutely essential, the kind of boring utility that people will still pay for when the panic hits and everyone is giving away their tech shares for free.